If you want to save money on your trading card purchases, we have a promo link over at 50cards.shop. Enter the promo code @night to get 5% off your order. Hey everybody, welcome to Nexus at Night, your weekly Vanguard podcast. I'm Atlas.
I'm Matt.
I'm Root Beer.
And today, yet again, venturing into the realm of the Striders that are returning in
Big
Premium.
deal.
Yeah, I can't stop thinking, testing, talking with people. I know that today there was I think it was Richard from Nexus Core going the meme about all the effect triggers being reprinted or something. I don't give a shit. All I care about is this, because after testing with Blue Sky Knight Altmile as a 2-of in Brave, I realized that I would much rather just have Higher Deity Knight Altmile as the thing that allows you to get 2 gifts.
But you can't.
In Brave, but I can't. So we haven't done like a thought experiment-y episode in a while, so I thought might be good for this, which is like, what Striders would be even crazier if the History Collection Strides just said base name instead of full name. So for people just listening, Higher Deity Knight Altmile was a later version of Altmile, where when you stride on top of him, you can Soul Blast a card with the Brave ability, search your deck for a card with the Brave ability not named himself, call it to rear, and shuffle. And then also Van or rear GB2 Brave. When it attacks, if you have a Vanguard with a Brave ability, it gets 5k and a crit. So I feel like this would be really good where you could use things like Peerless Knight Levero. You could use... what was that starter? The one that turns on Brave for the entire turn. Things like that, where I know that they're trying to do that to avoid usage of the old keyword stuff. But I think this would be crazy, especially because you could even do Crystal Luster Dragon to then have a Vanguard with the Brave ability so that you can use Peerless Knight, Levero, and things like that. So I'm opening it up to you guys to say, what cards do you think would lead to the craziest combos in their respective decks?
Craziest combos,
craziest decks. Like, what would be the coolest in your opinion? So if someone wants to go based off that.
I think it's hard to know what would be the coolest, but it'd be interesting to have cards that could actually give some kind of viable other option. I think a great example is Dimension Police, because Grand Gallop, the Strider that's going to matter, the original one, is really, really bad.
Yeah.
If it were like Bravest Victor Grand Gallop, where if you can't call it, but you get to ride this 13k base, and then you can stride immediately, and then give that stride plus 12.
Yeah.
And then
when strode on top of it gives whatever goes on top 12k.
Yeah. So you'd already have 40k attack. That'd be sick, with 2 force gifts somewhere, which would be pretty sick. But alas,
does Gallop really have a lot of support where it's tied to it in that way? The way Brave is, or
there are some cards, but none of the cards. They're not a lot of good cards. If that makes sense. Okay. There's a lot of very medium minus. Some of them are okay. Very, very middle of the road cards for Gallop Sport.
Right.
It could be better.
I know for this one where he's 13k base, and Boucherot at the time thought oh my god, this is crazy. So it's got an effect where if you do not have a face-up card with Gallop on your Vanguard Circle or G-Zone, you can't call it to Rearguard Circle. They're like, you can ride it, but no call in the rear unless you strode already.
But if you just ride if this could ride and stride immediately, it doesn't really have a downside, right?
You get your 2 gifts, and then you're a 13k base where the downside of being an 11k doesn't exist. I think that would be interesting. Yeah.
instead of the original Gallop, which is like on stride plus 4K.
Mhm.
And then I think it gets Counterblast 1 on hit draw.
I
Yes.
think so. Yeah. Which I'm wondering, because I know the wording's probably going to come down to the wire there, but like, does that then activate end of battle because of the
No.
stride too? No,
It says
Okay.
original on hit.
Okay. Damn, that would suck because like I know
Yeah.
it gives the thing that strides on top of it the red text. So, funny. Root beer, you want to go next?
Okay. I have a broad one, but I think I'll save that for later. The more
Okay.
specific one I have is Battle Sister Florentine, because I want to be playing anything other than Susano. Both
Okay.
the Susano Striders suck.
Yeah, like even the second Susano like was Oracle, which means 5 or more cards in hand to start your turn before you do anything. Soul charge or something, right?
Yeah.
Um,
I don't even remember what the... I just looked at it and I already forgot what Rough Deity Susano does.
talked about rough deity. Huh?
Yeah, like it was GB2 Oracle at the beginning of the ride phase. You can look at the top card put on top of her bottom. If you have a face-up Amaterasu or Waka Hirume, you can Soul Charge, and then you can Soul Blast 2 on Stride to draw a card. That was the Susano, but Battle Sister Florentine is on play. You can look at the top card and put it on top or bottom, and then
Okay.
on Stride, you counterblast one card with Battle Sister in its name. When anything strides on top of it, you can pay the cost. Look at the top 2 cards, put one in hand, put one on top or bottom, and then you give your Vanguard a continuous effect that all your Battle Sister rear guards get 3k.
Not bad.
That's neat.
Yeah,
I know Battle Sisters were always kind of xenophobic, but
yes, they are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does suck that it has to it has a special counterblast, which we haven't seen in quite some time, but
Yeah,
it is something that they did really enjoy printing back in the day.
yes, they did.
yeah, like mid to late Giera was a big.
No, even before that, ever since they introduced the archetype break rides, you had a special counterblast all throughout Limit Break into G.
Yep.
Yeah, I think like Ignition had. Oh no, sorry, Gauntlet Buster, the original Gauntlet Buster had a special counterblast.
Pretty much all of them did at that time.
Had
That
a
was like a
counterblast to it. Yeah, sorry.
That was
I
just
know-
kind of a design philosophy they started back in Break Rides and kept up when they started printing archetype support in G.
I know, like the Eradicator. What's his face? Unruly. When he intercepts, he has to counterblast an Eradicator.
Yes.
So like that saw play during this last tournament season because it was a way to, mess up the opponent's board. But if you, as the opponent, go, okay, well they don't have any Eradicator in the damage zone, so that's not a problem. Tech. It's just funny, is all.
Yeah.
When I brought up this idea for an episode, I did not think of these archetype striders, so I do have to give you credit, Ruby, because I was like, all right, the main one for each one. Fenrir got a rough deal because there's only the one. All that other stuff.
I think the other Fender is pretty decent. It's just not a Strider.
Yeah.
Yes, like broadly, this was a very specific example, but like very broadly, Bushiroad made a lot of archetype striders. The main problem with those is that most of them either need their archetype or even, like, more specifically, their own name sometimes.
Like to stride on top of them? Or
Yes.
yeah.
Let me go read Descendant Sigma again.
Oh my god.
Oh right, that card exists.
Yeah,
Forgot
a card that I'm pretty sure most people don't remember. Okay, so Sigma only needs an Eradicator card.
But the first on hit stride is not an Eradicator, so
Yep,
you're doomed on that.
Yeah.
that is correct.
Although it is a cosmic hero for a DP.
Oh, that's right.
But
Yeah.
it doesn't have the burst ability because fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's before they did keywords. I think that might be part of the reason why, where they're just like, all right, we don't want to open it up too much because the power creep as you got to later in G had more effects that were easier to get stuff, right? Instead of going counterblast 1, call up to 2 things, give them 5k, soul blast a brave, get a brave from deck. Like that's world of difference. And I know why they didn't do that, but this is our world, so we can do whatever we want.
But yeah, like broadly, I do wish like some of these archetype striders could have a way back into relevance.
Mhm.
You
Like,
know,
even
that's just kind of a problem with the current way like premium is being supported. Is like there are so many things, especially like older cards, if they're now trying to revisit them, that are just like so far out of date.
Mhm. I know for things like Yu-Gi-Oh, when they support things with legacy support, it's always like 2 or 3 cards ish.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. No, they'll just like print whole archetypes to support like old bad cards for no reason.
Hungry Bird or anybody?
Yeah. Like we're getting a Gate Guardian archetype that's like mostly bad except for one of them.
I think
I
like
saw
the
that.
wind and water one is like okay, the adult duo.
Yeah. Time to start speaking in rhyme and being vague Asian stereotypes. Sounds like a good time.
But I do
No,
that
I'm
all-
good.
What?
I don't feel like doing the racist voice right now.
I'm not doing it, that's for sure.
See, I'm allowed to. I just don't
You're
feel
allowed
like
to,
it.
but yeah. Okay. So the next one I wanted to bring up was Alter Ego Neo Messiah. So due to the crest, Messiah got like a little bit more support, like indirectly, aside from the Judgment Messiah thing.
True.
But Alter Ego Messiah's problem was that you either A, had to already have something on board to get the lock on both ends, because it's like choose a thing on your and your opponent's board and lock them when you stride on top. A, and B, at end phase, when something unlocked, you could Soul Blast and draw, and you had to Soul Blast one per card. So what Alter Ego Neo Messiah did was it kind of like flattened everything, which was when a Messiah G unit, so you're stuck with Messiah G units, you can't use the guy that like calls from top 7 locked, and then because that's not a Messiah, but choose up to 1 card from your hand, call it to rear, and then choose one of each fighter's rear guards and lock them. So that fixes the like Messiah is weak to retire problem. The other effect is GB2 at the end of your turn. If a lock card was unlocked during that turn due to your card effect, Soul Blast 1, draw 2. So it's flat. And I think I would just like having that more than having to go, all right, I'm just going to put this behind Vanguard and hope they don't touch it. I ordered a play set of these just because they were 25 cents. And before they revealed what the full effect of Gobblade was, I was like, they're going to do something. We're like, okay, they're going to update this. Maybe these old cards are going to be important somehow. And I was wrong.
Yes.
So, well,
damn, a whole dollar wasted.
A whole dollar wasted. And then there's also the thing where like you go and check your mailbox, you see you have cards, you're like, oh man, is it the thing that like is important right now? And then it's like, oh, it's the Neo Messiah. Damn it. So yeah, I think I would like to see this more, but too late to apologize.
There's also Ideal Ego, which I don't know if that one would be better than Neo Messiah, but
Ideal Ego, it's like when you ride it or stride on top of it, you put something as a lock card from hand and then draw one. And then it doesn't have like an end phase effect, but it's got a rear guard effect that's pretty cool, which is after it attacks, lock itself, check top 3, put something locked. So I've been working with the Lady Battler of the Black Dwarf, which retires herself to draw 2. So you go swing with her, kill her, draw 2, Ideal Ego, swing, lock itself, put something on the other side, then swing with Vanguard and unlock everything. Kind of a neat combo. I'm still working on it, but deck profile sometime in the future, everybody.
Nice.
Yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about Alter Ego Neo Messiah. Your turn, Matt.
All right. So the next one I have laying around is Stealth Rogue of the Trial Yasuie. So this is the second Yasui. I actually think, like, with the way the on-hit stride is, that the original Yasuie is also quite good.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, but I like that this one has the literal Shadow Stitch ability. And the fact that, you know, when you stride, you can counterblast one. You can clone something, but you also get to bounce that clone to hand.
Okay.
Which, you know, could be a relevant choice to make in the deck. I don't know if, like, I still think the other one is cooler just because you get to clone something twice. But kind of having the option to kind of, like, just snipe up a thing and then, you know, clone it, bounce it to hand. Or, you know, you could even bounce it, copy itself and bounce it to hand. And then, you know, you can ultimate stride or something. Interacting with them.
I liked the original Yasuie because of the strides being act, where you can be like, all right, my field's empty, call something, stride.
Yeah, this one just cool, just to kind of like guarantee things move, guarantee a follow up play. But like, like I said, I don't think this one's necessarily better, and I think the train is actually quite nice as far as like the on hit strides go. Yeah. Into battle, cloning something twice is quite nice, especially with the additional Excel circles. But that might be a card you play 4 of.
Yeah,
who knows?
Train's good. It's kind of a shame that like some deck or some clans had more options for like what they were, like what they would be in this particular thought experiment.
Yeah, I mean, you could also make an argument. Like, sure, you doesn't have a Strider, but like, she did have a G like unit. Like, she had a G version, right?
Yeah.
But like, Shiryuki would be an interesting one. But I think the Shiryuki, but like the archetype Striders, it might make more sense if they went with their archetype Stride. But I think that could also be too powerful, because you could imagine something like Metalborg, right? If they're like, do they have a Strider? Yes, they. No, they just ride onto the Sinbuster. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah. I think they had a Stride, right?
They do have a Stride. Yeah, they do have a Stride. Yeah. But they don't have like a Strider, like.
Yeah.
Because they just had the thing that forced ride Sinbuster, basically.
Yeah.
They just rode some other Metalborg Grade 3.
And then you just Legion and kill them.
Pretty much. Although I did go into the Metalborg Stride a fair bit.
Yeah.
I mean, Counterblast 2, no grade 1s are higher. Sometimes did the job.
Yeah, remember, this is back in the day when PGs were grade 1. Before draw PGs. I can feel my skin wrinkling as I'm saying that. Did you have another one, Ripper?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So, I'm going to say, like, the other Thavas. Supreme Ruler of the Storm.
Okay.
Because that one actually does something. Because the original Thavas is just like, when you stride, it gets red text, like 4th battle or more? Yeah, 4th battle or more, you like choose 3, your opponent retires 1 of them, and that's like not a lot. I'm pretty sure there's like a million other things you could spend those counterblast on. So the second Thavas is when you stride, you have the option of calling something from your hand, then you can choose a rear guard. It gets resist, and if it has the wave ability, which then it can also attack from the back row.
I know that some decks will run this as like a 1-of, right? Where you, because at the end of a battle, it attacked on rear guard 1st or 4th time, you counterblasted stand it.
Yep. Also the back row attack effect is free. You'd have to play cards with wave on them, but I'm sure you could find something.
You could run more copies of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, wave was a pretty well supported archetype.
They kind of just put wave on everything, to be honest.
Okay.
It's also something that like didn't need to be a keyword, but was.
Yeah.
It was for brevity's sake, not so much a like skill or anything.
But things caring about the specific keyword wave means down the line when wave goes away, like it did.
Yes.
It makes other cards less
good.
Yeah, they don't work with it as well.
I think another reason why like Thavas, the original Thavas not really being good in the scenario we have in real life is because doing like regular Thavas and striding the Lambros from deck and then just riding back down to Thavas gets you 2 Excel circles anyway.
Mhm.
So like doing the G Thavas with the unhit stride doesn't really change anything. Commander Jaime notwithstanding. Am I missing anything or no?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
This was really just like I was looking at clans I play and or cards that were interesting, and I'm like, Thavas does not do anything. Be nice if we could just like play the good one.
Yeah. Because I remember Thavas back in the day and it just being like, all right, cool. Please, you suck, but everything needs a Thavas Vanguard, so stuck with it. Yeah, I guess this had its due. The last one I wanted to bring up for me was Masked Phantom Harry. So Harry really gets a huge buff with being able to not rely on the stage thing anymore. So you don't have to run the dragon or the pigeon. All of your circles don't get condensed into one. You can now just ride the original Harry, and be able to get Excel circles, which that was one of Pale Moon's problems in G. The other one was a lack of counterblast, and Harry now has Magia Dolls, which can countercharge for him. So that is awesome. Masked Phantom is a little different, where GB2, which again, this gets turned on immediately by the use of the history collection strides, which is when your rear guard is put into your soul, you can counterblast, choose a grade 3 with the Magia ability from your soul and put it into your hand. So you can get a stride fodder for next turn if you really need to. That one's kind of beside the point. The other effect is when you place it on Vanguard Circle, check top 2, put something in soul, put something on bottom. So you build up your soul. And then lastly, when your G unit strides, you soul blast 1, choose a card with the Magia ability from your soul, call it to rear, and then end phase goes back in. This is the better version of Harry, where now you are not stuck needing a counterblast to begin with, because the old Harry has to counterblast, soul charge, call something. This can just call something outright, which is probably going to be like him into Periton or Crescent Moon Juggler or something like that, and then your field from there. So yeah, I think this would be pretty awesome. It would also let you use your G guard that needs a Magia Vanguard because that's still active.
Yep.
I think it's the one that's like the least helpful of the 3 I picked, though. Where like Harry can get on fine without it, I think, but this would just be like a cherry on top. So that's all I got.
Okay.
So my last one is, well, one I'm sure we're all familiar with, Chronojet G. The original Chronojet's fine. It's actually pretty good with other cards, like, next stage, say. But Chronojet G, I mean, none of them are really bad, but, like, Chronojet G is cool because it kind of starts your time leaping kind of for free, even on no matter what the stride is. So even though the stride's kind of booty for gears, as I think it's just on hit bot deck something.
Yeah.
This would actually allow the stride to, like, start something, which would be cool, and I think it might actually be a little more, what's the word? Enticing. Like, I'm not convinced it's going to be better than, like, Steam Maiden, but, like, could be something.
So it's when a Gear Dragon or Zodiac Time Beast. So that's that's, you're going in either direction. Most of them are Gear Dragons, though.
Yeah, I want to say that the Fighter's Collection stride for gears, or the Hit stride for gears, is a Gear Dragon. What's the name of it? Do you remember?
I can't remember. It might be Lost Age Dragon. Don't quote me on that though.
I'll find it.
Yeah, so, some dude, Gear Chronicles stand. It's this. I don't. Okay.
Nobody knows what this card is.
Yeah. So when either thing strides, you can choose a card from your hand, call it to rear, and then time leap something.
Yeah, it is Lost Age Dragon.
Yeah.
And it is in fact a Gear Dragon.
Yep. So that would activate this thing's effect. Like the original Chrono Jet, like the on stride effect was just kind of all right. Put something up bottom, whatever, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really fit into how like the reason Gears top stuff, which is time leaping things over and over. Once again, referred to Yellow Card TCG's video of all the crazy things you can do with the History Collection strides, and that was just 4 of them. So. Yeah, Chrono Jet Dragon G would be even crazier than it is with just the regular Chrono Jet.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it would be. I think it would like I said, like the deck's already quite strong in premium, and I think just having the option to play something else would be quite nice. Right, because Steam Maidens is already good.
Yeah.
Right. And so regardless of what you allowed the original Chrono Jet to do in premium, nobody's going to care.
Yeah.
Yep.
Putting a hat on a hat. I think.
But Gears also don't need the help, so who cares, right?
Right. What's your last one, Rapier?
I'm going to go with Claret Sword Dragon Revolt.
What? Oh my god, coming out at the last minute.
This guy.
The buzzer beater, Claret Sword Dragon Revolt. Shout out to a certain friend of mine who is currently trying to make Claret Sword work, and he has Luard, and I keep telling him, just do Luard. It's fine.
Omar?
Not Omar, different guy.
Okay.
Yeah. But
okay. So the original Claret Sword is just like on stride, you can counterblast 1, search your deck for a grade 1 or less, and call it. And it gets 2k. Revolt, what it does is when you stride, you can reveal top cards from your deck until you've revealed 2 grade 1s. You can call one of them and then add the other one to your hand. And if there's only one, you call it. But the more interesting thing is its GB2 ability, which is like, when it's attacked, you can move one of your grade 1s to the guard circle, so you basically give all of your grade 1s intercept. And if you do that and you have no rear guards, it gets 2k, which does not matter because it just makes it 13.
So back where we started. Huzzah.
But yeah.
I guess that's cool.
Yeah, I think the defensive ability on this is neat. Like, it gives it some sort of additional utility over the original Claret Sword. It's debatable whether the stride skill is better. Like, this one pluses you more because you can get one to your hand and field, but also the original one could get anything, whereas this one, as soon as you reveal the 2, you're stuck with them.
I always thought that was a unique way to do that, where instead of just searching 2, they're like, all right, keep going until you found 2, and then stuck with them.
Yeah, I just think this is a neat card.
It'd definitely be something to use with the overdressed PGs because they activate when put on guard circle. So you can be like, all right, call this PG behind Vanguard boost with it next turn. There you go.
What was the Shadow Paladin on hit?
I think it was like call a grade 1 or no, it might. This is gonna kill me.
What was it even called?
I gotta go back into our into our Discord and look at the reveal. If you want to join the Discord, $1 a month, patreon.com/nexus let's see.
Yeah, I didn't actually think about like what the stride would actually be doing with this. Just that like this one seems better than the original.
Yeah, I think the Shadow Paladin one was weird to begin with. God damn it, I don't care about the mask thing anymore. I already made fun of it last week.
Claret was the Shadow Paladin one?
Yeah.
No, I'm looking for the list of because they listed all the striders that are getting reprinted.
All the strides.
Stride, sorry. Dark Knight Grim Recruiter.
Oh,
There you go.
even I
Yeah.
was just looking at that card.
Okay, well,
Okay, there it is.
Using DuckDuckGo? My God.
hey, it doesn't.
Also, this
track
card
you
was.
much.
See, that's the thing. I thought it wasn't this one because it's just a promo.
Yeah, some of these were like in Fighters Collection. Like I know for
A lot of them are in Fighters Collection.
yeah, like for Pale Moon, it's Luna Square Clifford. He's like end of battle or on hit, call something from soul, give it 2K.
Yeah, and this one is on hit. Call a grade 1 or less from your deck.
Okay, so it's just Gobblade, but a grade 1 instead.
Yeah,
So.
which is fine. But yeah, I just think like this version of Claret Sword is better than the other one. So
Yes.
like it'd be neat.
I think Luard got such a good package to begin with.
Yes.
And I don't think it's not going to get upended by being able to go, all right, 2 Force 2s, and then I go into Morfessa next turn and kill you that way, because then everything's 3 crits or whatever. But it would be nice if Claret Sword got some due, because Luard almost killed the game. And there's a video on our channel about that, and I will put it in the description because I think it's great work by Root Beer. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I had. I just wanted to do 3 each because I think it's important to think about what could have been Bushiroad. Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, because again, there's that thing. There's the axe hanging over my head. What if that only turns out to be the thing for Gobblade, and all the other clans is not the case?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
like I said, I'm still really interested in trying out some Murakumo stuff. I think that one might have legs, but I haven't really tested it. So, and I also don't know anyone testing Murakumo. They're all testing. I don't remember. They're testing random stuff.
I think no, it wasn't. It might have been TIE Fighter who's been funking around with it. I know one of my friends is doing Neo Nectar. No, it's not Gabe. He's out in the woods somewhere. And
Nova Grappler is one of the ones with work. It sucks that you can't play like the V version of Victor because the V version of Victor is also quite nice.
Yeah, you can like you can do it 2 and 2, or 2 and 2.
Yeah, but that's so inconsistent. Yeah, like Victor is one of the ones where it's like pretty good. What did the Excessive Battler do again? Did that one? Yeah, that one needed the rush ability, so Excessive is out.
I think it's Zubat. Zubat would have been the one.
Zubat's the one because like on Stride you draw a card, call a card. Choose one of your units and it gets like on attack, choose one of your other rear guards, stand it, and then at the end of the turn, if you have 1 or less face up in damage, counter charge. If you have 1 or less in soul charge. So yeah, like 100%. Like some Nova Grappler decks just still play Zubat now.
Yeah. I think if you are gonna do like a split of stuff like that, like Grand Blue, for example, you don't run Night Rose at 4 to begin with. It's usually like a 2 of. So they would just throw in the last Night Rose or 2 Night Roses.
Yeah.
And then run old Tommy the Ghosty to be like, all right, here's my Heal Guardian. I'm going to get the correct Night Rose. And then discard this thing. Or just, put it in drop with Columbard and fetch it out later.
Yeah, the thing that sucks about original Victor is like, the V Extreme Battler is like pretty decent because it still has the on plays to like check top 7 for 2 or less Extreme Battler.
It's very very aggressive, and especially with Sazanda being as good as it is, where like that's what you're trying to hit.
Right.
Also, I'm TIE Fighter. If you're out there, please let us know because I know you play Nova Grappler. What?
And I'm just saying, like Extreme Battler also gives itself like triple drive, so.
Yeah.
Like, on its own, it's a pretty aggressive, just like grade 3.
Like, how much do you need that draw 2.
I mean, no, this is one of those things where it's like, if you could use Zubat, I think it'd be pretty easy to just be like Zubat plus the original, and you kind of have avenues for both.
Yeah. I know for something like Great Nature, weirdly enough, the original Big Belly is the best option, because like Teacher's Cane was just kind of a nothing burger, and the Blue Belly, like it's a really good rear guard, but I'm not really like, okay, call something from hand and then give it draw and retire. I think I'd rather have the like, okay, call 2 things, give them some push.
Also, having the V Extreme Battler means you can like pivot later on when you don't need the stride anymore.
Right.
Just rewrite it, get an Excel, get a third Excel, and then like
and then you can
call
like
a unit.
just call a thing and then you can stride.
Not bad.
I know with this Altmile, I have the original as a 2 of, and then like if you like can, you don't have to, but just go into this the turn after, and then Crystal Luster, and they're dead usually. But that's not tied to name, so that's just the exception rather than the rule.
Right.
And for people listening, Aerial Divine Knight Altmile. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, so going like 3-1 or 2-2.
2.
3-1 seems like the greedy play, but it could work out because if you want to see both.
If you do that, I highly recommend your like the old stride fodders being like a 3 or 4 of.
I see,
because you're not always, you need to see it by turn 3. You have to. So that's 3 to 4 more copies of being able to go, all right, call this, reveal my Heal Guardian, get the thing that I need, and then discard the other. Your mileage may vary depending on what deck it is. I know for like some decks aren't really gonna care and just do their thing, Luard, DIs, all that stuff, but I think this has been really fun, and I've tested against this for 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
And Gurgit, Night Rose, Victor, Claret Sword, which was not really important, but it happened, and Messiah. And it's not as scary as people think it is. Like, even going second, where they do it to you when you're on grade 2. Yes, they get triple drive, but in a world of their stride only giving them like a +1, if that, at the end of battle, or in the case of now, we played with Heart Thumb clones being on damage check, draw 1. It made a huge difference.
Right.
So I think people need to cool their tits of them thinking this is the end of days.
I don't think anyone freaked out that much. I think it's more just like, this is a very concerning direction for the game to go speed-wise.
It is a bit weird to me that they're kind of like buffing first turn player when going first is still good.
Yeah.
As far as like gifts are involved, which is kind of the concern from me.
Yeah.
Like, you already wanted to go first, right? So like, to be like, oh yeah, here's an extra benefit for going first and playing one of these cards, like, even if the benefit might not matter for some clans, is still kind of weird.
You're speeding up some things while slowing down others, because you are locked into this particular stride. In the case of Force and Protect, it's not as much outright pressure. In Excel's case, they can then go draw 2, call 2 things, and then that's a little scary. But
right.
It's, what the play is going to be every time. So I think that's going, obviously the game is going to shift to accommodate this, much like it did with ride down decks. You had people going, okay, well, if they're going to ride down against me, I have to either like nut up or shut up. Now it's okay if they're going to either have a really good ride up like DIs or Luard, or they're going to go into this, then I need to have like Rollick is going to be a even bigger part of the metagame than he was. And that's not a bad thing unless they don't reprint Rollick, then that's going to be a problem. But So yeah, also another thing. If you're going first as the person who gets this, the crackback from the opponent is usually gigantic. Like I did Tachi's into Narukami, and them going, okay, well I get second stride technically, right up to 3, go into Stunverse, get rid of Stunverse, stride Zoras, because this is during main phase, and then get 2 more Excel circles, swing, full Bronto, ride again, get another Excel circle. I died real quick.
That's pretty sick.
That was them going second. So,
but that's also at least partially unique to Narukami.
It is, but it's still something that I think will keep these like decks that things like Gold Paladin that'll be like, all right, I got my 2 circles, I got my Campbell, I'm gonna call a bunch of stuff, and they're gonna be like, all right, I am now going to punch your teeth in. So yeah,
like,
please.
There are a few decks that can like stride twice using this. Which is also like another concern, is that they did not seem to account for the fact that they made a bunch of cards that can just casually stride themselves.
Yeah. Is there any other clans you can think of that can do that twice in a turn? Or
okay, there was Narukami. I can't remember if the Genesis one can do that. Probably not. I want to say no. I would hope that the Genesis stride that strides itself only works when you're on grade 3. I don't remember what it's called right now.
Marduk?
Probably. Yeah, there it is.
I believe Marduk needs a grade 3 while attacking, but let's find out.
Yeah, has to be grade 3.
Okay.
But yeah, that seems mostly unique to Narukami right now.
Another thing you can do is this is stupid. In Neonectar, you can stride into the thing to get you the 2 force gifts, and then there's this one where it's like retire 2 plant tokens, stride this, and then it gets 10k in a crit. I don't know if that's better, but it is something you can do. The only reason I know that this works is a friend of mine did the Progenitor Dragon, which is terrible. Aside from the like saving your ass thing, it's discard 2 and then that affects online. But the stride doesn't do anything else. So he goes, all right, call 2 plant tokens, kill them, stride over it, and now I have 10k in a crit.
Wow.
And that lingering effect. So that's another thing that Neonectar can do. And you know what? Good for Neonectar, because Neonectar is bad.
Yeah.
It's their fault.
Yeah.
Huh?
So, I guess to comment section and/or people on Twitter and all that stuff, what are you excited to test? What did you wish that your clan got to use? In terms of a Strider, at Nexus at Night, Twitter or Instagram. Support the show, patreon.com/Nexus at Night. $5 a month, you get an extra bonus show with the 3 of us and sometimes a guest. $10 patrons like Darren, Cole, Josh, Jeremy, GR, and Ali get thanked at every episode, and they get their stuff a day early. So,
wow.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, everybody. What about the rest of us?
Find me on Twitter at Wiggums, 2Gs, 2Zs.
You can find me at Plasma Eclipse.
Find me at Atlas Novak, Twitter, Instagram, or my other, and TikTok, and my other podcast at Generation Dan on Twitter, Generation_Dan on Instagram. So, yeah. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time. And until then, I was Atlas.
I'm Matt.
I'm Root Beer.
And have a good night, everybody.